I'm gonna try this one more time because the last two posts I made were slightly inaccurate. So, this is the deal, as I understand it. Long time ago, a lot of people came together. A lot of people decided that there was something worth fighting for, more than chicken McNuggets and the latest BMW. And so, the people, they banded together and they walked, drove, flew, canoed many miles to come to a place called Standing Rock. And this place became the place where all tribes of all colors and all languages would convene together to create a historic, wonderful model to the rest of the world about how a single prayer can change everything. And as they banded together, not only native tribes with other native tribes, but native tribes with Christian tribes, and peaceniks with war veterans, and all these things that had been divided for so many centuries had come together to create history's most beautiful support of indigenous peoples that the world had ever seen. And upon arriving upon the scene, the people decided together that they would not lift up one weapon, but that they would choose to use their prayers as a way to heal their own waters, their own people, and the waters of even those who chose to oppress and beat and shoot rubber bullets at them. And so, at that time, when the camp was overflowing and brimming with thousands of people, something magical happened. Something magical happened where even amidst the snow and amidst the sub-zero temperatures, there was a fire inside them, a fire that burned brighter than any helicopters, engines, and the combustion fuels that we all are enslaved to. And this fire was the fire of love, the fire of hope, and the fire of compassion for all living things, for all our relations. And so, at this time, there was a group that some people called the United States government. And within this group, there was another group. And this group was called the Army Corps of Engineers. And this group decided one day that they would side with those who sought to protect the water. And they issued a statement which said, "Hello, everyone. We are not going to grant the permit for this easement, which would allow this company, Energy Transfer Partners, to drill underneath the Missouri River." And everyone shouted with glee, and everyone was like, "Woo!" And everyone was like, and everyone was like pounding their drums, and they got so happy. And then there was some naysayers, and they said, "Girl, that's just Obama punting it over to Trump. And as soon as Trump comes into office, he's just going to let everything go through, and everything's going to go back, and we can't celebrate just yet." And some people were like, "Yeah, maybe that's so, but we still have to celebrate this victory because the federal government just sided with indigenous peoples, so just let us be doing our happy dance for a sec." And then some other folks were like, "Girl, Energy Transfer Partners don't give a beep if they got a permit or not. They're going to drill, and they're going to accept the fines, and every day that they drill, they're going to get fined $50K, and they don't care because they have too many investors involved in this, and they're just going to drill anyways." So there was those people. And then there was other people who said, "True, it is possible that Energy Transfer Partners might just drill anyways. However, nonetheless, wherefore, henceforth, and nevertheless, hence whereafter, you have to consider the fact that we have still won a victory. And that victory is that these leaders, indigenous peoples, David Archambault, and Cheryl Angel, and Happy American Horse, and other various leaders have created a blueprint which the world can follow, which says that we do not need to lift a weapon or an arm to change the world. Furthermore, our deepest strength comes from praying for mitakue o yasin. That doesn't mean some of my relations. That doesn't mean, oh, them, and them. That means all my relations. And the victory came when the people showed the world that we can actually create a massive change when we adhere to the principles of nonviolence, when we adhere to the principle of forgiveness, and when we adhere to the principle of prayer, to say that our greatest strength comes from stepping out into the darkness against all odds and saying, you know what, I'm going to try anyways. And when you have this wonderful people who it's clear that there's a million people and corporations and banks ahead of them, and they decide to step out and give it a shot anyways, that this is a model to the rest of us, that no matter where we are, if we are motivated by prayer, if we are motivated by kindness, if we are motivated by the audacity to try against all odds, that we might just create a worldwide movement. And so, it is true, while this permit denial is not necessarily the be-all, end-all, and the victory of all victories, and that while it is true that we still need to remain vigilant, and that we still need to take a look at all the different ways that Energy Transfer Partners might still get this thing through, we must nevertheless take a moment to celebrate. Take a moment to celebrate the fact that we have united things that have never been united. We have united the federal government with indigenous peoples. We have united Christians with indigenous peoples. We have united war veterans with nonviolent peaceniks. We have united Muslims with Christians. We have united all sorts of things. And the world has come together to put their stake in the ground and say, yes, we love our planet, we love the water, and we believe in creating some sort of solution to the centuries-long issue of the oppression of indigenous peoples of Turtle Island. This, my friends, is a victory. And this, my friends, is the first step to many more victories that we will have in the coming years and in the coming decades to create the healing that indigenous peoples have needed for so many generations. And so I thank each and every one of you for each and everything you've done to help this be what it is. We can't get ahead of ourselves by saying, oh, the pipeline is dead, because there are a few ways that it can revive itself. We need to create all kinds of safeguards, do your homework, do your research, so that when Trump comes in, we've blocked it, essentially. But we can say that we have made history today by creating a critical mass where even the most right-wing news sources cannot ignore the power and the beauty of this movement. And so please, let's all give a prayer of gratitude to Tunkashila, to the Easement Denied, to whatever it is you call it in your language and in your culture, because together we have created a beautiful, beautiful demonstration of human unity. And my favorite part, as you all already know, is that we have proven the efficacy of the strategy of nonviolence. And we have proven the efficacy of the strategy of compassion and unconditional love for our enemies. and we have proven the efficacy of having hope in the middle of the dark night when nothing seems possible, and stepping out and giving it a shot anyways. So my deep prayers of gratitude to all of you, and also to the leaders of the Hunkpapa nation, the descendants of Sitting Bull, who was a man of peace himself, and for showing us what we together can do if we hold on to our prayer. This Standing Rock issue is not just about Standing Rock. It's about every tribe across the world and throughout time. This is about vindicating what happened to the indigenous tribes of Europe when the Roman expansion mowed over them like blades of grass. This is about vindicating what happened to the tribes of Africa who were enslaved and oppressed and taken over during the expansion of the European empires. This is about helping the world come to justice once again, to help the world see that no, it is not okay to overpower another culture's land, which that should have been theirs a long time ago. So thank all of you for being a part of this beautiful and historic movement. And yes, we have some work to do, but let's just take a moment to do the happy dance.